So you're ambitious, but you're also lazy. This video is going to be perfect for you. If you always find yourself like wanting and wanting and wanting things, but you can never get yourself to do what you have to do so you can have those things, then I'm going to show you how to overcome it, because you're either lazy, unmotivated, or undisciplined. By the way, Wagwan, I'm Tabia. Thank you so much for watching this video, and special thank you if you are a returning viewer. So I want to deliver a little warning to you guys. Ambition is not evidence that you'll be successful. So you'll find someone walking around, oh, I'm an ambitious person, or I want an ambitious guy. I want a guy that has potential. I want a girl that's ambitious. I want a girl that has big dreams, or I'm a person of a huge vision. I can't work at McDonald's because my vision is too big, and I have this huge vision, so I cannot start small because the vision is so big. So you have people out there that think that their dreams and their goals is evidence that they're going to be something great. Do not deceive yourself. Let me tell you something. Everyone in this world has desires. It might not be on the same level, but everyone has a level of ambition. Everyone has desires for a certain house, car, clothes, lifestyle according to their own standards, okay? So you having desires according to your own standards, it's not evidence that you're going to be great. Now, if I see a 14-year-old with that belief, I can see with that child because that's a child. But you're now grown up, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, your 40s, okay? You cannot have that same mindset to think that just because I have a dream for it, a goal for it, it's gonna happen. No. Dreams, goals, aspirations are not evidence that you will have something. Let's look at it this way. Let's say you are walking past a Dior store. You look in there, you're seeing some price tags, maybe 15,000, 10,000. I haven't shopped in Dior, I don't know, but I expect it to be high. You're just walking around looking in the store, you're looking at price tags, and you're saying to yourself, I'm not buying anything, but I would like these. They look good, but I'm not willing to pay this price because I got real life responsibilities and my income doesn't cover it. As you're looking at what it costs for the thing that you want, you're saying, I'm not willing to pay this. And it's the same thing with you and your goals. You're window shopping your goals. You're walking around and you're seeing things. Oh, I would like that Tesla. Oh, I would like that Benz. Oh my gosh, all the girlies are in a G-Wagon. That must be me in the next 2 years. And it's like, girl, you're window shopping, but are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to wake up early if that's a price? Are you willing to diet if that's the price for the body that you want? Are you willing to post a cringy content and have people misinterpret you and to judge you? Are you willing to pay that price, or is it too high? You can't want luxury and pay Shein type prices for luxury, right? You can't have this high of a standards with how you want to live, but what you're willing to pay in standards and commitment and in actions is down here, right? Let me put my hands where you could see it, down here. So you're saying, I'm ambitious, and I'm telling you, baby, it doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry, you can't purchase nothing with that. Desire is not currency, okay? Desire cannot pay for nothing. Being a valuable person in society through your career, through your business, that's currency. Being a productive person, having works, that's currency. You want body? Okay, dieting, maybe doing some checkup to see if there's something wrong with you, why you can't lose weight. Those things are currency. You have to know what is the currency to pay for what you want. Okay, money is not always what is needed for you to have the thing. But we all know that money is up here. Okay, it's up here. Apart from money, or to get money, there's some other currencies you have to pay till you get to the level where you have the money to do the things that you want to do. So I have here that the best-selling book of all time, the Bible quoted, the desire of a lazy man kills him, for his hands refuses to labor. And that's in Proverbs 21. So I want you to move the words around a little bit, right? Just so you can see it in modern days. It says the desire of a lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. Let's remove the word desire. The goals of a lazy man kills him because his hands refuse to labor. The vision board of a lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. The affirmations of a lazy man kills him or her because their hands refuse to labor. The manifestation practices of a lazy man or woman kills them because their hands refuse to labor. The prayers, because y'all thought I was gonna skip y'all. No, you're in it too. You're getting clocked. Everybody's getting clocked today. The prayers of a lazy person kills him because his hands refuse to labor. The talking about what you're gonna do of a lazy man kills him because his hands refuses to labor. Now let me paint it out for you. How is it killing you? Because it's not a physical death. It's a soul death. It's a mental death. It's a mental health death. Why am I saying it's so dark? Yeah, so let me explain what that means. There are some countries, right, where they're not exposed to the internet. They're not exposed to how other people are living. They're not on Instagram stalking anybody. They don't got their favorite influencer on their timeline, none of that. So they don't really know what's going on. So in those places, they hunt, they dance around fire, they tell stories, they eat, they drink, they're happy. They're happier than me and you. So what's happening is we've seen so much, we want so much, we have so much desires, and we are fully aware of what we don't have because we've been exposed to so much, right? In today's age, with everything's on the internet, everyone's posting their lifestyle, their trips, their vacation. I'm recently coming back from a vacation in Jamaica. As soon as I said that, I remember. It was a good time. I went to Dolphin Cove in Ocho Rios. I highly, highly recommend it. I did a few things. I can't remember everything. I think I went rafting, etc., etc. I'll put a few pictures, but yeah. So you are living in this world where you're seeing what everyone is doing. So your desire and your appetite is going to be bigger. What it's going to take for you to feel okay is going to be bigger, and it's not your fault. Your eyes have seen, right? When God, okay, I don't want to preach to y'all, so I'm not even going to say that, or maybe I should. So when God in the Bible, he wants people to want something, he will often tell them to look at it. He did it with Abraham, and I'm not going to say who else he did it with. Let's just leave it at that. So when you see things, it opens your appetite for more. So we are seeing so much, and it's not your fault that you want things, okay? It's not your fault. You want because you're seeing, you're aware of what you have and what you don't have. You having that desire can start to affect your mental health. That is it killing you. The Bible says the desire of a lazy man kills him. So you have all these desires, all these things, you're aware of what you don't have, and that is becoming a burden to your soul, right? You can't be happy unless you're a millionaire because so many other 20-year-olds are millionaire. You can't be happy until you buy a house because all your age mates are buying a house. This is what it means when it's saying it's killing you, right? The desire becomes a burden because you're not actually achieving it, and it's weighing on your soul, it's weighing on your mental health. Now, when someone has a goal for so long or have desires for so long, and because their hands refuse to labor, right? You don't have a diligent spirit. You're not doing a thing to achieve those goals. What ends up happening is that those dreams being suppressed in you so long without manifestation, you start to manifest something else. You start to manifest envy. You start to manifest criticizing everything that other people do. Like some people, they have something bad to say about everyone's accomplishments. They belittle everybody's accomplishment. She bought a car. Oh, I wouldn't have bought that car. That car is probably used. It's secondhand. It's this and that. Everybody's accomplishment is not accomplishment. Oh, Beyonce, she's married to Jay-Z, and if it wasn't for this person and that person, this person wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for her man, she would have never gotten this. That's that suppressed goal in them manifesting as envy. It's manifesting as criticism, belittling other people's success because they have their goals and it's not manifested. And they're not bad people. It's just how humans are, right? You too can become a hater if the next 20, 30 years, nothing you ever wrote down on pen and paper come to pass. So we don't judge. We have grace, because if not for the grace of God, we could be like them. If it's not for the positions that we're in and opportunities that we have and the ability and willingness to do the work, we could be a hater just like them. So we don't want to judge people and condemn them. And if you're watching this and you identify some of these things in yourself that I'm talking about, then I'm not condemning you. I'm just calling it out so you have an awareness of what's going on so that you can change and you can address it. So if you don't use your ambition to make a mark on this world, if you don't channel those desires that you have into physical reality, you're going to start having troubles with how you see the world. You're not going to be able to clap for other people genuinely and other things because that ambition is in you, killing you, girl. Okay? So all that bring me to where I want to be, which is how to attract success. Now, lately online, I noticed that the girlies are trying to overplay the role of visualization, goal setting, manifestation, and having positive energy and frequency when it comes to achieving things, right? So they make it look like you're going to feel positively about owning a car, and you're going to say 2 affirmations, and you're just going to believe you're worthy of it, and the keys are going to fall into your lap. Guys, that is, if not I don't want to be too mean, but that is not even delusion. That is straight up craziness. If you genuinely believe like that's all it takes, then girl, you need to, but there's a place for it, okay? There's a place for it. Like I said earlier, I already stated there's a place for faith. There's a place for the visions, the goals. I have goals. I have visions. I believe in prayer. I believe in all those things. So it's not that I'm saying it's not relevant, but I just want you to not overplay or overemphasize the importance. Don't drag it, girl. For example, if I want to go to an international country, like let's say Bahamas, and I'm located in America, a plane is not gonna come and get me from my house and take me to Bahamas. I'll need a car. So a car is a part of the process of me getting to Bahamas. So your goals, your vision, where you see yourself going, your manifestation practices, having positive energy and a positive mindset, those things, they do have a place. It is a part of your journey. It's necessary. It's a very necessary part, because how are you going to get to the airport to meet the plane, which is action, right? So I'm not downplaying the fact that it is important. I'm not ridiculing anyone. Despite my attitude and way of saying what I'm saying, I have to say things the way I say it so you see what I'm trying to say. Now, if you want to attract money, wealth, abundance, success, open doors, and opportunities, the way how you do that is not with a big thinking head, but with a diligent hand, as we have observed earlier before. You see, success, money, opportunities, abundance is going to flee. When I say flee, I mean flee from a positive thinking, affirming girly and throw itself on a diligent person, like a groupie at a concert, okay? It's going to throw itself like a girl who doesn't know her worth on a man. That is how success will literally throw itself on people that are diligent. While you click on this video, you basically said, I could work on my discipline. I could work on the area of laziness. I could work on not being as focused as possible. So this video is not necessarily to give you tactics, but to give you a way to view things so that once you change in your mind, your body and your actions will follow, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. We've heard that a million times. So if I can change the way how you think, I can change the way how you are. So this video is not necessarily a tactical video. I have a tactical video about laziness. I'll put it on the screen and I'll put it at the end of the clip. But I just want you guys to see how should you be looking at this thing. So basically, wealth is attracted to diligent hands, not positive thoughts. Okay, and Alex Harmazi and Layla Harmazi, if I'm pronouncing their name correctly, they said something that I find interesting. They say that money doesn't discriminate. The person that does what they're supposed to do to get it, it will come to them. It doesn't matter what your faith practices, what your religion is. It doesn't care what your vision board practices. It doesn't care if you are positive enough. It doesn't care what your background is. It doesn't care what resources you lacked. It doesn't care about those things, okay? Money doesn't discriminate. Money isn't judging you. Money isn't looking at you and say, well, she comes from a poor family, so I'm not going to go there. Money doesn't discriminate. Oh, she doesn't have enough positive thoughts, so let's not stick to her. Now, let's say it's true that if you have certain limiting beliefs, you will self-sabotage yourself when you get money because you already hold certain negative beliefs. Yes, there is a part. Remember the car, the plane, the airport, a part of the, yeah. So it's a part of it for real, but not as much as it's being exaggerated, okay? So money doesn't discriminate. Opportunities doesn't discriminate. Who is working for it is who get it, okay? And I already tell you how you attract those things by being diligent. Okay, let me make it more real. If you are someone who wants to say, let's get 10 brand deals. Say you and Samantha, whoever Samantha is, you both want to get a brand deal. But Samantha's strategy is going to be, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to think positive. I'm going to wait until I feel worthy of this. Meanwhile, your strategy is, you know what? Let me just put out as much content as possible. I'm just going to record myself. Everything is content. I'm going to be posting every day. I'm going to reach out to brands. You see, it's two different strategies. Now, you could have limiting beliefs. You could not even believe in yourself. But from you sending out brands, email, pitching yourself, putting out the content, putting in the work, who is likely to get the brand deals? The person that hasn't done anything and is manifesting, or the person who is on the field working? Obviously, you who's on the field working is going to get it over the person that is on the bench waiting to feel worthy and waiting for her positive thoughts and frequency to align. Like, y'all need to get this because y'all over romanticize the small things. You made micros, macros, and macros, micros, meaning you're making the small things that adds the least to your success. You want to put high emphasis on that. You want to put heavy weight on that and make it a high priority. Meanwhile, things like what you actually do and your strategy, your action plan, your productivity, your daily habits, things like that, that is a macro, you put little emphasis on it, you put little weight on it, and then you wonder why your results is down here, your having is down here, your goals is not being achieved, because You're making micro things macro, and you're making macro things micro. Okay. My advice to you is to understand that your procrastination has to go. Your undisciplined ways has to go. Your desire doesn't mean a single thing in this world when it comes to achieving. Everyone can window shop if they please, but are you willing to pay the price? That is what makes a difference. You have to make up in your mind, girl, guy. You have to make up in your mind, I'm going to work for it because I don't want my desires to kill me. I don't want envy to kill me. I don't want to be unable to clap for others. I want to achieve this for myself. I want to do, like, you have to find your why and you have to pursue it, right? Stop avoiding hard work like it's a plague and do what you have to do. This is a call for you to do. This is a call for you to pay the price and not be a window shopper in life. This is a tactical video about how to overcome laziness. Please watch it and give me a subscribe, a like, a comment. I don't know. Do something, girl. Just do something. Bye.